Hi, I'm Diane Head from Seattle, and today I want to talk to my fellow baby boomers out there. I think we need a wake-up call. I know that I did. And I say that because recently it became apparent to me I am not ready for retirement, and I retired last summer. Do you remember when we were kids in elementary school? In my school, they crammed us in. We even had classes in the hallways and on the stage of the gymnasium because they hadn't prepared for us. There was no room. And forget the teacher-pupil ratio. Then those of us who went to college, we found steep competition with each other just to get in. And then when we finally graduated, we found there were no jobs for us. Many of us ended up having to take clerking jobs at places like Kmart and the Piggly Wiggly rather than work the professional job we'd prepare for. So, I got to thinking about how the world wasn't ready for us then. You remember how tough it was when we finally wanted to buy a house, how everything instantly got inflated because there were so many of us on the market? Our generation didn't benefit from that. And now I'm afraid we're going to be in competition for senior housing as we approach retirement age. Some of us are already there. Some of us are approaching. I don't want to be in competition with you all for a room in the, God forbid, nursing home or, eventually for a cemetery plot. I think we need to collaborate with each other and work together so that we can prepare the way and smooth the way for ourselves as a generation while we still have some clout in this society. So, I think our government tried to do their part. I've wondered over the years whether or not keeping our guy boomers in Vietnam as long as they did was a way that they thought they might decrease our generation's population. That's not a nice thing to think about. Well, I don't want something similar to happen now that we're approaching our senior years. I am very close to a couple in their 90s who are currently going through the humiliation of having to apply for welfare. They need the government to help pay their bills because their fixed income pension is fixed and their fees at the assisted living center where they live keep rising. And so every month their savings are dwindling. And it's particularly humiliating for the guy in this situation because he used to be a bank vice president. Now he's having to consider going on welfare just to stay afloat. I don't want that for us. I don't want our generation to end up in the world's biggest tent city for the homeless. I think we need to prepare. We need to get ready. They say you need $1 million tucked away somewhere so you can live on $3,000 a month interest. I don't have that. Do you? I don't have even the $50,000 that they say most average boomers have tucked away by now. I retired last summer in 2008 as director of a homeless shelter for women and children. You don't earn a lot of money in social services, and, I thought I would rely on my husband's life insurance as a cushion, a financial cushion. He's 11, 12 years older than I am, and I figured that I would have that for my twilight years. However, he's about to age out of his life insurance, and once he hits 75, it's impossible to get something reasonable. He'll become essentially uninsurable because of his age. So, can't rely on that. I need to find a way to prepare myself, and that takes money. I'm hoping that if we boomers band together, we can do something about at least seeing we get Social Security we've paid into all of these years. Doesn't seem likely. In fact, it seems pretty hopeless. But we need to find a way that we can live comfortably and take care of ourselves. I decided the quickest way I could make some real money was on the internet. And I tried. I got a site that specialized in merchandising imported goods from China, basically. And I found out nobody needs more stuff. And the company, the supplier I was dealing with, basically was in it for their own profits. I didn't get a lot of support. And after a few months, I decided to cut my losses. I did some good research, and I did find a company that is excellent. For a very small startup fee, you get basically a business in a box, a turnkey business that you can use to market on the internet. And the product that we market is something everybody needs. I wish I'd had it when I was preparing for retirement. I would have done a better job. I'm proud of what I represent. The compensation plan is excellent, and the training is professional. If you're interested in seeing what I found out, then come to my website at webwealthgateway.com and just check it out. Find some way that you can help build some money quickly as a cushion for yourself. Again, if you want to come to my website, webwealthgateway.com, it will spell out everything you'll get at a very small price. Just come try it out. Whatever you do, please prepare now. I don't want us to be victims once more of a society that just isn't prepared for us. So let's get prepared ourselves. Thank you for listening.